My name is Ben Poole, and I'll be teaching fire extinguishers today, or the Shelby County Fire. The exits are here to the left in the kitchen. You can also go out through the bay floor. There's another exit out of the back bed hall. There's 3 bathrooms. One here that's a co-ed bathroom. Then we have a female and a male bathroom in the back. So I'm gonna be teaching fire extinguishers today. I have a couple of them on display. I also have 2 training aid videos at the end that we'll go over. So fire objectives are gonna be history of the fire extinguisher, different types of fire extinguishers, different uses for the fire extinguishers, inspection of fire extinguishers, the PASS acronym when using the fire extinguisher, safety fire extinguishers, usage of fire extinguishers, and practical application. History of the fire extinguisher. First fire extinguisher was created in 1819 by Captain George William Manby. Manby's extinguisher was a copper vessel that contained compressed air and potassium carbonate. Manby has been used and transformed into great extinguishers. The fire extinguisher design has a cylinder. As you can see here, you have the cylinders. You have handles. You got the handle, also the nozzle, the trigger. You have your locking mechanism for the hose, and then you have your pressure indicator there. Oh, yeah, also, if anybody, if we catch a call, just step to the side and leave, and we'll proceed. Here's also a diagram where you can actually see it. Let's realize you got your safety pin up here to keep it from discharging when it's not supposed to. You got your nozzle, your pressure gauge, you got your handle, and you also got the trigger there. And then that's the inside of what it looks like. Fire extinguishers come in all different types. You got A, B, C, D, and K. The green one here, you know, that has ordinary things you find in common households. Some of them are A, B, C. Class A fire extinguishers. Class A fire involve ordinary solid combustible materials such as wood, paper, cloth, rubber, and some plastics. Water is the most common to be used to extinguish fires in Class A fires. Other agents can be used to extinguish Class A fires. Class B fire extinguisher. Class B fire extinguishers involve flammable or combustible liquids such as gasoline, oil, grease, tar, oil-based plants, and some plastics. Most dangerous Class B fires are propane and natural gas because of the possibility of a BLEVE explosion. BLEVE stands for boiling liquid expanding vapor explosion. Here's a picture of a propane tank before it's getting closer about time to BLEVE. That's when both ends are gonna blow out. So you gotta keep letting them off gas. Class C fire extinguishers. Class C fires involve energized electrical equipment such as devices or produces electrical energy. Class C fires examples are used with building wires, outlets, fuse boxes, circuit breakers, transformers, generators, household appliances, etc. Power should always be disconnected to ensure safely extinguishing Class C fires. Water should be avoided on Class C fires. Here's a picture of a fire that started through the electrical outlet. Class D fire extinguisher. Class D fires involve combustible metals such as magnesium, titanium, zirconium, sodium, lithium, potassium. Special techniques and extinguishing agents are required to fight combustible metals. Normal extinguisher agents can react violently if used. Class D fires happen at machine shops, repair shops, and metal recycling plants. Class D fires require knowledge and also experience to put those fires out. Class K fire extinguisher. Class K fires involve combustible cooking oils and fats. Class K fires are usually caused by deep fat fires. Class B agents can be used for Class K fires, but not as effective. Here's a picture. This is what happens when you throw water on a grease fire in the kitchen. It comes out, starts set things on the roof on fire. It kind of boils over. And the more water you put on it, the more dangerous it is. Dry powder extinguishers. Dry powder extinguishers deliver finely grained particles to the fire, such as this one here. This is a dry powder extinguisher, and it is A, B, and C. There's three different. It can do 3 different types of fires. You can use it on electrical fires, but it might not be as effective if you don't cut the power off to it. Dry powder uses different compounds such as sodium bicarbonate, potassium bicarbonate, and there's other Class B and C fires for both of those. Urea-based potassium bicarbonate for B and C fires, potassium chloride, B and C fires. You have ammonium phosphate. That's what's inside this one. It does A, B, and C fires all together. Water fire extinguisher. Water fire extinguishers are used for Class A fires. Water fire extinguishers should not be used on hot cooking oils. Could cause an explosion. Water fire extinguisher Class B fires require foam to add water agent. Water fire extinguisher usually stored with pressure filled up by the user, like this one here. We take it and we fill it up with water, and this one here we also added just a little bit of a solution of soap to it to kind of blanket when we do it. But also you got a pressure gauge here. You fill it up until it's in the green, and it is roughly, on this one, it's roughly 100 psi inside of there on top of, once we fill it up. This is just a quick way to refill a fire extinguisher for Class A fires. That's an example there. Carbon dioxide fire extinguisher, CO2 is used. Your CO2 extinguisher uses carbon dioxide to extinguish fires. CO2 reduces the amount of oxygen to the fire. These extinguishers are rated for B and C fires only. Halogenated extinguishers. Halogenated extinguishers use liquid gases to extinguish fires. Halogenated extinguishers leave no residue. So these are really well in like IBM mainframe rooms where there's like no residue left. Once it just takes all the oxygen out of the room, pushes the fire out, and also safely where they can come and remove that piece of equipment out of the room and replace it without having to damage anything else. Halogenated extinguishers are used for sensitive electrical equipment, just like I was talking about the IBM and computers, stuff like that. You will see that in a lot of mainframe rooms at different places. This is how you use a fire extinguisher. You got, it's called a PASS acronym. Pull the pin, aim the nozzle at the base of the fire, squeeze the lever slowly, sweep from side to side. Oh, not gonna do it because it's active. Always remember, if you're gonna be using dry powder, if you can, have it where you can air the room out. If you're gonna use it, in an enclosed space, probably need to wear a respirator SCBA. But you pull the pin, aim the nozzle, sweep, slowly squeeze at the same time, and it's gonna be a pretty big cleanup after that. Inspection of the fire extinguisher. Ensure all seals are intact. Determine the fullness of the extinguisher by weighing it. Examine for physical damage. Check pressure gauges. Check the type and rating before you use it. Also, they should be hydrostatic tested and up to date. And usually that's every year. Here's a picture of a pressure gauge there. Pressure gauge must be inside the green range. Pressure must be approximately 195 psi for most of the common fire extinguishers. Sometimes it can be a little less if it's smaller, but the most common is 195 psi. This is a fire extinguisher tag. This is every month you should go in and just visually inspect. And once you're done, you put your initial and you put the year and all that. And then this should be done every month, and they should be tested by a company once a year. But everybody should do their due diligence to check it once a month and keep track of that. Make sure it's in the green, the pressure gauges are good, it's got a good weight, and there's like no holes in the hose, or the safety pin is still intact. All right. Fire extinguisher placement. Fire extinguishers should be easily accessible. Fire extinguishers should be close to potential fire hazards. Fire extinguishers should usually be mounted on the wall. Signs should be posted where you can find fire extinguisher and identify what type of fire extinguisher that is being used. Safety uses of fire extinguishers. Try to avoid using fire extinguishers in enclosed areas. Use the appropriate extinguishing agent on the class of fire or a breathing apparatus when using a CO2 extinguisher. And check the hose for damage before using it. And any questions?
What's the life expectancy?
The life
expectancy. How long are they good for? The extinguishers.
The extinguishers, frequently when they're inspected, they should be good as long as they've been getting tested on time. As long as when they come around, there's no holes or nothing in it. It's holding its good. It's holding its PSI. There's no leaks. They get tested every year. If it doesn't pass the test, then it's taken out of service. There is no set time for it. It's basically when they get tested, it needs to be taken out.
What if I purchase some like at Home Depot? How long do I keep it before I discard it?
How long do you keep it? They should have a expiration on it. The home ones, because they're not getting them tested. But right. I would, if whatever the expiration date was, and when I bought for my house, I would get rid of it after the expiration date, because typically a lot of the places have somebody come around and check theirs. They pay companies, so that's what companies do.
Which extinguisher would you want to use on a grease fire?
Which extinguisher would you want to use on a grease fire? I don't have one here, but it is Class K. And it doesn't use water. It's a special chemical. Class K fire extinguisher.
When you have the pressurized water canister, do you fill it all the way to the top with water when you fill it up?
No, you got to save some room for the PSI to be able to
air to put in.
Okay. So what's the most common type of fire extinguisher?
The most common type of fire extinguisher is going to be ABC. Just because it's the when they sell them, it targets three things. It's the most common. That's the one you would find in most businesses and stuff. Unless we go to McDonald's and stuff, they'll have a specific system for like the fryers and all that stuff like that.
So you said the K, Class K, are those the ones found in like apartment homes when they? Because some of those fire extinguishers are already there when you like sign your lease.
Those are ABC.
Oh, okay.
Class K is usually you're gonna find those at like a restaurant or somewhere where they deal with a lot of grease and oils.
And also some of the different chemicals you might find.
So what would happen if I sprayed it on a grease fire?
If you spray this one on a grease fire?
ABC.
The ABC, if it's just dry powder, it'll put it out, but it's not as effective as the Class K. Class K is designed technically for oils.
The other one has the water in it, so if you have that water base on oil, you can have the possibility of the flare. Because once it push, in other words, if you can get on top of it, it might put it out. But with having that water, if the oil reacts to the water first, it's gonna flash. You're gonna just like that picture they had up there.
here, I saw you got a question.
What would be the average PSI in one of them things?
Normally on the regular, it's roughly a 145 PSI. It could be less depending on if the cylinder is smaller, but most common is around 195 PSI.
So if it's the larger containers, it's gonna be like either, the larger extinguishers, they're like 195?
Yes.
Big? Okay.
The ones in about this range here, but
Yes.
they differentiate because different manufacturers
Size,
make them.
Yeah.
But on every pressure gauge, you got your PSI and you got your bar that lets you know. The max on this one is 200,
What about the little one?
and the max on this one is 185 on this one.
Cause now, I know the large one, you can air it up. What about the small ones? Or you just have to buy it like that? That's not the one that
You
air
can't.
pressure
You don't do
to, right?
anything to this one. You have to have this is the dry powder. This is the one that you can't do anything to this
Okay.
one. But getting inspected, a specialist has to take care of that one.
Okay.
This one right here is this is what we use to basically it's refillable, and this has a pressure gauge for us to refill it up. This one's reusable.
Shit, okay.
I think you can reuse those ABCs. I've seen somebody put fresh powder in them. I don't know how we put the air pressure behind it, but I've seen them reused before.
I think you
For
got
sure.
a fire extinguisher company to do that. You
Yeah.
have a special way to fill it.
Yeah.
You don't have a Schrader valve on the back.
Yeah.
Now, we used to have, now the older metal ones, there are some that are, they're similar like the cylinder, but you can tell it's like, it's heavier than most because they're like steel. And the way how you activate it, it's a cartridge that pops in on it. But I know you have to hit it or something, but you have to have a CO2 or some type of cartridge, but I don't think that's ones, we used to be able to refill some, but we would have to send that over. I don't know how to do those.
I also have two train videos, very small. They talk about certain things. I'm going to show you that Class K fire. This is why you never put grease. Put water or any type of water chemical on a grease fire.
Okay.
Cool cheese out.
Lock the screen. Right there, Mo.
As you can see, water can cause an explosion, just a small amount. I also have one more training aid that talks about using a fire extinguisher and how do you use it.
Pass method for putting out a fire. In this video, we'll teach you how to properly use a fire extinguisher using the pass method. When fire strikes at your workplace, be sure to follow these 3 steps. Step 1. Check to make sure the fire extinguisher you have on hand is the correct type of extinguisher to extinguish the type of fire. Type A is used for ordinary combustibles such as wood and paper. Type B extinguishers are used on flammable liquids like gasoline and oil. Type C is for electrical fires, so they can be used on faulty outlets and appliances. Type D is used on flammable metals such as magnesium and titanium. And Class K extinguishers are used when fires involve cooking media, fats, grease, and oils. All commercial cooking sites such as restaurants need this extinguisher. If you don't feel you can safely put out the fire, exit the building immediately. Step 2. With the extinguisher in hand, step 6 to 8 feet away from the fire. Step 3. Use the pass method to put out the fire. P. Pull the pin so that you're able to discharge the extinguisher. A. Aim. Aim the extinguisher nozzle at the base of the fire. S. Squeeze. Squeeze the lever to discharge the extinguishing agent. Releasing the lever will stop the discharge. S. Sweep. Pointing the extinguisher at the base of the fire, move the extinguisher from left to right or back and forth in a sweeping motion until the fire is out. When the fire is out, continue to watch the fire to ensure the fire does not ignite once again. If the fire comes back, repeat the pass method. Recap. P. Pull the pin. A. Aim. S. Squeeze. And S. Sweep. Remember, fires can be harmful and fatal, so do not put the fire out yourself unless it's safe to do so. At CQ Fire and Safety, we are a one-stop shop for your fire and safety needs, keeping business OSHA compliant and up to NFPA standards. For more info, visit www.cqfireandsafety.com.
Alright. Those are only training aids I have.
But can you add stuff to that water extinguisher to make it more effective to putting out a fire?
Yes, you can use just regular Dawn dish soap, or some places have what you call, it used to be F500, and they put it in there. Yeah, but most commonly, you just put you some Dawn dish soap in there, and you need to put that in after you put the water in, or it's just gonna soak up. You ain't gonna be able to get a lot of water in
That
there.
foam up and help put the fire out?
Yes.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
No, I think we're good.
All right.